everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for 2023. I'm so excited to be making this video. I have a great list of books that I'm very much looking forward to that are coming out next year, and hopefully I can put a few on your radar to get excited about. I do mostly have a mix of fantasy and romance, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. These are my most anticipated releases for next year. Okay, so I'm probably going to be doing this like a little bit out of order, but I will put the release dates up on the screen so you guys can see when they are coming out. But the very first book that I wanted to talk about that I'm so excited that is coming out in January is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. So this is a YA fantasy, and it's actually kind of a continuation of the Folk of the Air series. We are going to be following different characters though. We will be following Oak and Surin. Oak was one of the main characters in the Folk of the Air trilogy's little brother, and he is now, I think, 17 or 18 years old, and it's time to follow his story. I am so excited to be going back to Elfame. I don't know if this was always Holly Black's intention to revisit that world and these characters, but I can't wait. I cannot wait to see Carden and Jude. I cannot wait to see what everyone is up to. And the premise of The Stolen Heir sounds really great. I know that Oak is going to be teaming up with Surin, who is another character that we met back in the Folk of the Air series when they were both very young, and I believe they have to go on a quest, which is always a good time in a fantasy book. So very much looking forward to this. We'll definitely be picking this book up in January. The next book that I'm anticipating is Bewitched by Laura Thalassa. So I've only read one book by Laura Thalassa, and that was Pestilence, which is the first book in the Four Horsemen series. I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was a pretty solid book. I am also going to be reading the Bargainer series starting in January, so I definitely will familiarize myself a bit more with Laura Thalassa's writing over the next few months. But I decided to add Bewitched to my list because I am very curious about this book. It's going to be the first book in a paranormal romance series, and our main character is a witch, and I believe she accidentally awakens some kind of evil demon being or something like that, and he basically, as soon as he is awake, is set on taking revenge on someone from his past, and I believe that the two get involved. So it kind of sounds like a dark enemies to lovers paranormal romance. It sounds really good. It's definitely a book that I'm going to want to keep my eye on, definitely pick up, and hopefully it will be a new favorite. The next book that I am very much looking forward to coming out next year is Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This is a sequel to Belladonna, and that book came out a few months ago and quickly became one of my favorite reads of the year. It's kind of a YA paranormal fantasy romance. We did end on a little bit of a cliffhanger, so I'm excited to see what is in store for our characters in this next installment. I believe this is just a duology, but regardless, Adeline Grace has definitely become an author that I'm going to want to read anything she puts out in the future because of how impressed I was by Belladonna. So I'm really excited for Foxglove. Okay, and then probably my most anticipated release for next year, my most anticipated confirmed release for next year is going to be The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the sequel to The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I have talked this book to death on my channel, but truly, I am absolutely in love with this book. It blew me away. I loved the characters, the romance, the plot, the world, and the cliffhanger was just crazy, and I need to see what is going on with Aurea and Rain, so I'm so looking forward to this book. I will be picking it up immediately when it comes out. This is an adult vampire fantasy romance, and this is going to be the second book in the duology, but it's going to be a 6-book series overall, and this will kind of just be the first installment in the series. So very excited to see how our character story continues, but also how it leads us into the rest of this series. So I'm so excited. I think about this release all the time. I cannot wait for it to come out. Okay, and then the last sort of fantasy book that I will be talking about before I get into romance releases that I am looking forward to is going to be Silverborn by Jessica Townsend. So this is actually a middle grade novel, and it is going to be the 4th book. I absolutely loved the first 3 books in this series, and I actually read them in 2022. It's very magical, it's very whimsical. It follows our main character, Morrigan Crow. She was cursed to die on her 11th birthday, but she is saved by a man named Jupiter North, who takes her to this magical world, and she ends up going to this academy to learn her powers and meet other kids like her. It's a really fun time. What I've enjoyed about this series so far is each year Morrigan gets older, so she has like a new school year at the start of each book, and so by the end of this series, I believe it's supposed to be a 7 or 8 book series, she should be 17 or 18, which I think will be really cool to look back on the series where she started at 11 years old and then reaches young adulthood by the end of it. This book was actually supposed to come out this past September, but the author posted that she needed more time and she needed to put the release out by 1 year. It was devastating because I was so excited for it, but I do respect that she is taking the time to make sure that the book is exactly what she wants it to be and not forcing it to come out. So very much looking forward to Silverborn coming out, I believe, in the fall. So now let's move on to some contemporary romance releases that that I'm really looking forward to. First is going to be King of Pride by Anna Huang. This is going to be the second book in her, I forget the title of this series, but she has a new contemporary romance series and it's kind of based off of the 7 Deadly Sins. The first book was King of Wrath, and then the second book is going to be King of Pride. We do meet the couple that is going to be featured in King of Pride in King of Wrath, and the couple is Kai and Isabella. I absolutely love Kai. From what we have seen of him, he seems really nice, really sweet. I'm excited to see what their storyline is going to be. I'm very curious about their dynamic and their relationship, so really looking forward to this book. I really love Anna Huang's books. Every book that I've read of hers, I think I've given 4 stars minimum, so I'm sure that King of Pride will be no exception. The next book on my most anticipated releases of 2023 list is going to be Powerless by Elsie Silver. I cannot wait for this book to come out. Oh my god. This is going to be the 3rd book in a contemporary romance series that Elsie Silver is working on right now. I read the 2nd book, Heartless, last month and it blew me away. 5 stars, one of my favorite romances of the year, and I feel like Powerless is going to be just as fantastic. So Powerless is going to follow Jasper and Sloane. Jasper is a brooding, quiet, mysterious sort of hockey player, and Sloane is a ballet dancer who is actually engaged to someone else right now. But Sloane and Jasper have had a long friendship since childhood. I think have always kind of had this deep connection. So I'm very curious to see how they are going to come together and what is going to happen between them. But I have no doubt that Elsie Silver is going to give us tons of angst and forced proximity, and just I just love the way that she writes romance. I love the way that she writes spice. I feel like this book is going to be as good as Heartless or maybe even better because I really did like the mystery surrounding Jasper and Sloane. So I am so excited for this book to come out. The next book on my list is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I don't know too much about this book, but I think we have a grumpy sunshine situation, which is very classic Tessa Bailey. I think our main characters are neighbors. Our female main character is the sunshine character, and then we have a grumpy professor for our male love interest. Other than that, I don't really know the plot, but Tessa Bailey is one of those authors that I either love her books or I end up like DNFing them. So I really don't know where I'm going to fall, but I always end up anticipating her releases just because It Happened One Summer by her is one of my favorite romances of all time. And so she just kind of has this status in my mind of an auto-buy author, of an author that I really want to pick up and see what she's coming out with. So I have very high hopes for this book. It sounds really cute, and I just feel like the newer releases that Tessa puts out, I tend to enjoy. So I'm excited for this one. The next book on my list is going to be Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This looks like it's going to be another classic Ali Hazelwood feminist rom-com. So Ali Hazelwood has released The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. I did not like The Love Hypothesis, but I did really enjoy Love on the Brain. So I'm hoping that Love Theoretically is going to work out for me the way that Love on the Brain did. I do believe we kind of have the classic Ali Hazelwood formula. We have academic rivals, we have some fake dating, and her books just always end up being a really fun and sweet time. They are usually a little bit cheesy, but I kind of know that going into it. So I do think that I will enjoy Love Theoretically. I really thought that Love on the Brain was just really cute and sweet, and I really like the way that she writes romance heroes. The next book on my most anticipated releases for 2023 list is probably on everyone's, and that is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm so excited for this book. Also, the cover is so gorgeous. Pink is my favorite color, so I'm very excited for this one. This is an interesting premise. We have a couple who broke up. I think they were together throughout college. They broke up, but then all of their friends are planning this annual summer trip, I believe somewhere in New England, and they decide to just pretend that they're still together to avoid like the drama or ruining the trip or something. So we have fake dating, forced proximity, second chance romance. It sounds so incredible. I'm also excited about the summertime New England setting. I just think that this is going to be really great. Of the 3 Emily Henry books that I have read, I have given 2 of them 5 stars. I just didn't love Book Lovers as much, but I am hopeful that Happy Place will end up being a new favorite of mine because I do really like Emily Henry's writing. The next book is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. Carly Fortune wrote Every Summer After, which I absolutely loved that book when I read it this past summer. So Meet Me at the Lake is going to be following 2 characters who they meet and have like this instant connection. I kind of feel like it's almost a one-night stand situation, and then they make a pact that they're going to meet up again 1 year later. Well, one of our main characters does not show up and devastates the other. Then 9 years later, one of our characters is really going through something terrible, and then the other character ends up showing up. So they're 9 years late, but they have met up with this person when they're going through a really difficult time. So it'll be very interesting. I think this is going to be very tension and angst angst-filled. I think that definitely Carly Fortune likes to write romance that sort of packs a punch, that has an emotional pull on you, so I'm excited for it. Okay, so those are all of my confirmed releases for 2023. We have the dates, we know that they're coming out for sure, but I do have 2 more releases that I know are coming out in 2023, but we just don't have the date yet, and then 1 release that we don't know when it's coming out, but I'm gonna talk about it because I need to manifest it into existence. So the first book is going to be Light Lark 2. We don't have a title, we don't have a release date, but the author Alex Astor has said that this book is coming out in 2023. Light Lark is a YA fantasy romance. It had a lot of buzz last year, and I think it's a very polarizing book. I thought it was super fun. I had a really good time reading it. I'm very much looking forward to the sequel, and I really hope that it comes out sooner rather than later. The next book is going to be Magnolia Parks 3. Once again, we don't have a title for this, but the author Jessa Hastings, I believe she said that it's going to be coming out around June or July. I think that is of course subject to change, but you guys know I love Magnolia Parks with my whole heart, and I'm really looking forward to reading the 3rd installment. It is also going to be the finale of Magnolia and BJ's story, so it's going to be a very, very big release for me. And then the very last book on my most anticipated releases of 2023, as I said, we have no confirmation that this book is coming out in 2023, but I need it to, so I'm putting it in this video. I'm going to talk about it, and that is Crescent City 3 by Sarah J. Maas. So here's all we know about the potential release date for this book. Sarah did say that Crescent City 3 is definitely going to be her next release, and that it is going to be coming out anywhere from 18 to 24 months post the release of House of Sky and Breath. So with that information, we can assume Crescent City 3 will be coming out between August of 2023 and February of 2024. I am praying, hoping and praying that this book comes out in 2023 and we don't have to wait until winter of 2024. Sarah did say that this is going to be her longest book she has ever written. Her longest book right now is Kingdom of Ash, which is 982 pages, so I imagine this book is going to be well over 1,000 pages, so obviously it's going to take a very long time to edit to get this book all together. But I know that she has been in edits of this book since January of 2022, so I am hopeful. I don't know, I don't really know how the process goes, but I'm just like, I need this release date. I need it so bad. I am not kidding. I am not exaggerating when I say I think about this book every single day, at least once a day, if not multiple times. I think about, when is the release going to come out? What's going to happen with this book? What's going to happen with these characters? How is this going to blow my mind? Am I going to be okay? And I mean, obviously I want the book now, but if I just even had the release date now, I would be okay. I would be good with that. I would be comforted by that. But yeah, I need that book so, so badly. So I am going to just like say, this is my prediction, that we are going to get Crescent City 3 in the fall of 2023. I'm thinking either September or maybe mid-November, somewhere around there. I don't know. We shall see. Whenever Sarah J. Maas does post the release date for Crescent City 3, somebody check on me because I will not be okay. All right, you guys, so that is it. Those are my most anticipated releases for 2023. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, what are you looking forward to that is coming out next year? If you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave the calendar emoji. I think they have one of those. As always, my Instagram and my Goodreads are linked down below. You are welcome to follow me on there at any time. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you are all having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next one.